Hello gentlemen and gentleladies, my name is Sir Stanger, and today I'm going to be answering some of your questions that you left on my last Q&A video. I think a lot of you here are pretty new and probably didn't even know I had this little Q&A series going on, but I guess now's as good a time as any to introduce you. So before we get started, if you'd like to go back and check out some of those Q&A videos, I have a whole playlist of them, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description. You feel free to go check those out. Also, if you want to leave a question for me for my next Q&A video, please leave it in the comment section down below. I will only be taking questions from this video's comment section for the next Q&A, no other video. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Dawson Sikipi asks what my favorite knife is. To this day, my favorite knife will probably have to be the Your Eternal Reward that the Spy uses. I just think it's a really cool knife with a really cool concept. I especially like how it looks. I think it's a really unique looking knife. I just like everything about it. I think it's really cool. It's not very viable for any sort of competitive Spy or anything like that, but it's just a hell of a lot of fun to use, and it's also just really good at teaching you how to play Spy, so, you know, go out and use one. Jerry25 asks, how much cheese do you eat daily? Well, Jerry, honestly, I don't eat all that much cheese daily, and frankly, I'm a little concerned as to why you would want to know. Omerange asks, do you like tendies? Way to start this Q&A off strong, guys. Well, I guess I owe you an answer, so, yeah, I guess tendies are okay. Arrow Ants asks, in terms of character, be it in the game itself or through the shorts, comics, whatever, who's your favorite class? Now, obviously, I'm a Spy main, so in terms of gameplay, I definitely favor the Spy the most. However, I have to say, when it comes to personality, I think I might like the Medic the most. I actually like his personality quite a lot. Something about the whole mad scientist thing just really rings a bell with me, and I just think it's hilarious. Higgins21000 asks, what do you think of the hidden custom game mode / mod in TF2? Since you are a Spy main after all, I would think you would like it, but I don't know. Now, I'm actually not entirely sure which game mode you're talking about. I've played a lot of different custom games throughout my time playing TF2, but I don't think the hidden is one of them. Although, I'm pretty sure I've heard of it. Isn't it one where you play as, like, the Spy, but it's like a Saxton Hale kind of mode? You know, I'm honestly not sure, but I'll have to look it up in my own time and play it for myself and see how I like it. But it does sound like it'd be a lot of fun if it's what I'm thinking of. Hedge Hopkins asks, Sir Stanger, for those of us that use SFM and would like to make fan art, where would we post them? Would you make a discussion thread that would be pinned where we could post fan art? Indeed, my friend, such a thread exists. If you go to my Steam group, there is a pinned discussion called fan art. If you go in there, feel free to post any sort of fan art, hand-drawn, SFM, or otherwise, and I will be happy to take a look at it, and it will be eligible to be in one of my videos as a featured fan art. SketchX asks, do you do YouTube full-time or do you have a job? P.S. I love your videos. Keep it up. First off, thanks, man. I try my hardest to make entertaining videos, and I'm glad that you like them, and there's more coming on the way, I promise. Secondly, no. As much as I would like to, I do not do YouTube for a living. I actually work at a tile store, where I sell tile, if you can believe it. Freeze0 asks, what do you think needs to be done to fix competitive from its current situation? Honestly, a topic like that deserves an entire video on its own right, but just to kind of sum up what I think that basically every single class and weapon needs a complete rebalance change, because it just doesn't work for competitive at the moment. Most, if not all, competitive games were designed with that in mind, and TF2 was not designed to be a competitive game, so until they go back and actually do some, you know, deep thought into every single weapon and class as to what they can do to make it competitively viable, I don't think the game is going to be all that competitive. The Eminem era asks, is Sir Stanger's HUD Toon HUD without modifications? So first off, yes, Sir Stanger's HUD is Toon HUD, however, it does have modifications. I have different settings on there, such as my crosshair and things like that, that I do have a little bit more custom than, you know, just the stock Toon HUD. If you're interested for this video, I'll leave a link to my HUD down in the description. It'll take you to a website where you can go and download it, just toonhud.com. It'll have my custom HUD that you can go and download if you're interested. If not, then I guess don't bother. Holden Soderstrom, I think that's how it's pronounced, asks, where did you get Let's Keep the Internet Classy? Honestly, I was in the middle of making a YouTube channel, and I needed something to say for when I was closing out my videos, and I wanted to keep with kind of the classy Spy theme, so I just kind of came up with it. It doesn't particularly mean anything. I just thought it was something nice to say for closing my videos. I've never really gotten a whole lot of feedback from anybody as to if anybody even likes it or not, but I just go ahead and assume that people do, because nobody says anything. Kellogg Cereal asks, what is your opinion on beards? Beards are pretty cool, although it can be a little bit agitating to have one on your face for too long. I haven't really had too long of a beard, but I know that when my hair gets too long, my face just starts getting scratchy, so I end up shaving once that happens usually. Vision Spire asks, if you were asked to change the stats on the brass beast for the heavy, what would you change or keep? What an oddly specific weapon to want to know my opinion about. I guess in my opinion, I like the concept of the brass beast. It's the only minigun that gives the heavy any extra damage, and all the other ones seem to take away from its damage output a little bit, but this one gives you a little bit more, which I can really appreciate. Now, I don't think that the brass beast is currently balanced in its current situation. I think that it is definitely underpowered. I don't think that the upside of having extra damage is quite as good as the downsides that it has, and I know that it gives you damage vulnerability as well, but I think it needs a little something extra. I'm no expert. I don't really know what it needs, but I know that it needs something. So in terms of what I would change or what I would keep the same, I guess I would keep pretty much everything the same. If I just had to throw a generic idea out there, I guess I would make him maybe like a mini dispenser when he's revved up, so maybe he regenerates a little bit of ammo and a little bit of health at a time. Not a whole lot, but a little bit, since he can't really move around a lot. David Benedict asks, how do you make that cool dancing silhouette for your outros? It is outstanding. Would you believe me if I said it was half on purpose and half on accident? So, I don't really know jack shit about SFM, and I've done my best to try and learn a little bit about it, but I'm really still pretty awful at it. For those of you that don't know, SFM is short for Source Filmmaker, and it's a little filmmaker tool that Valve released a long time ago that you could use to animate their little, TF2 figures and, models and whatever else as much as you want. A lot of really cool videos are made by way more talented people than I am using it, so, good for them. Well, I decided for my outro that I wanted to have my spy dancing to some music that my good friend iToaster made for me. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description. He's the one who made my outro music. And I just wanted him to do it against a solid gold background, something like that, which of course he does now, and the only way I knew to do that was to do it with some sort of green screen. So I imported a green screen map into SFM, and I started putting my spy against it, and I slowly figured out how to make him do the dance animation that I got off the Steam Workshop. Now, being the idiot that I am, I didn't realize that you needed to add some sort of light source for you to be able to actually see my spy, in full color. So all you could really see was my spy, just like a silhouette of my spy doing a dance, which is not really what I had wanted, but in the end, I got way too lazy to try and figure out how to fix it, so I just took that and I used that. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty well. So this next one isn't a question, I just really wanted to read it. Strom says, the ambassador is overrated. Stop using it. That really sounds like something someone would say if they can't land any headshots with the ambassador at all. In which case, yes, I would not suggest using it. Not that I'm any sort of pro at landing headshots with the ambassador, but I might as well practice, right? And it's only in casual, so what's it really matter? Matt Gamebro asks, Sir Stanger, how do you like your women? I gotta be really careful about how I answer this question, so I'm gonna go ahead and say I prefer my women to be pyromanes named Lady Stanger. Love you, babe. Josh O asks, what heroes do I play mostly in Overwatch? How do I feel about Sombra? As a spy main, do I think she needs some tweaks to make her viable competitively, or is she good as she is now? Now, I'm definitely not a pro when it comes to Overwatch. I've been having difficulty getting out of Platinum since competitive was released for Overwatch, so I don't really know what you want to hear from me about that. I'm definitely a Zarya main in Overwatch. I play more Zarya than any other hero, but when I'm not playing Zarya, I definitely tend to play a lot of Zenyatta and McCree. I like just their playstyles quite a bit as well. When it comes to Sombra, I don't know. She seems kind of balanced as is. I can't really say for certain. I'm no pro at the game, but she seems okay. She could maybe use a little bit of a buff, because I think there are other heroes that do her job better, but I mean, what do I know? Supper3 asks, I don't know if this will make it into a video or not, but if you could add a new Sapper for the spy, what would it be? Now, I'm not the most creative person in the universe, and I think other people have probably made way better Sapper ideas than I will ever come up with. However, the only one that I've ever really wanted to see any sort of thing come out of is some sort of area of effect Sapper, something that would sap a bunch of different buildings in a small confined area. I'm not sure exactly how it would work or what its stats would be exactly. I have a feeling that it would be a Sapper that would be a lot slower to actually kill buildings, but I feel like it should be able to kill all of the buildings in a certain vicinity at once at a very slow rate. I thought it may be fun to have a false Sapper on all the buildings that you didn't immediately place the Sapper on, so when the engineer goes to remove the Sappers, he has to like figure out which one is the correct one. I thought that might be kind of funny, but I don't know. It'd be a really slow-acting Sapper, so it probably wouldn't be as good as stock anyway. I don't think it'd be useful in a whole lot of situations, but it would bring a whole new meaning to not putting your buildings next to another engineer's, because, damn, that would be annoying if there was a whole bunch of engineers all in one place with one large nest, and that would be, oh man, it'd be so effective for that. It would be hilarious. It'd be awesome to watch. The player asks, what's your opinion about having a game that has TF2 and Overwatch in it, and you have your items from TF2 and abilities from Overwatch? What? What? Now, Greggles here had a pretty long question, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically he wanted to ask, what's the biggest skill cap that I've overcome with, you know, while playing TF2? I don't think my answer is going to be particularly unique, but it kind of happened when I was playing the sniper. It just kind of clicks in your head how to actually play him and to use him correctly and to click on heads and kill people. A similar thing happened with rocket jumping. They were both really difficult obstacles to overcome that took a long time and a lot of practice, but one day they just kind of clicked and you just kind of can now. Remco asks, why did you start a YouTube channels? Well, if I'm going to be completely honest when answering that question, I guess it would be because, well, back when I first started uploading YouTube videos, I really hated my day job. I hated it a lot. I didn't like what I did. I came home every day and I was just angry to be doing what I was doing. I felt really trapped and as though I didn't really have any say in what was going on in my life anymore, so I really wanted to just do something creative, just kind of make something with my own hands that would hopefully, you know, go somewhere, but maybe wouldn't. I didn't really care at the time. I just wanted to make YouTube videos. I thought it would be fun. The moment that I passed like 50 subscribers, I was already well beyond where I expected to be, and every single subscriber that I've gained since then is basically just a small miracle in disguise in my mind. I really don't know how I've gotten this far. I really do appreciate everybody who's watching now, who continues to watch my videos. Just thank you. JDSFM asks, what do you use to make your videos? Maybe you use SFM for your thumbnails? Okay, so when it comes to actually recording my videos, I use a few different softwares, but when it comes to actually making my videos, doing all the editing, I use a program called Movie Studio Platinum. I've answered this question before, and I don't plan on answering it again, so write this down this time. When it comes to my thumbnails, yes, they're all made using SFM, but I actually don't really have a hand in making almost any of them, except for some Photoshop that I do on some of them, but all the ones that have like any sort of SFM looking stuff, yeah, they're all done using SFM. I just don't do that. My SFM thumbnails have actually been made by a few different people, but by far the person who's helped me out the most, his name is It's the Spy Crab. I'm gonna leave a link to his Steam page down in the description so you can go check him out. He does commissions and all that, so, you know, feel free to go ahead and contact him. Whether or not he chooses to believe it, he's the reason for a good portion of my success. My thumbnails have improved so much since he started helping me, and, you know, you guys, you click on the thumbnails. You guys see what you want to watch based on the thumbnails, and he gives you guys the visual representation of what my video is going to be about. So I have everything to thank for him. Spy Crab, my dude, I know there's secrets out, and everybody knows who you are now, but I just wanted to thank you personally for everything you've done for my YouTube channel. It would not be anywhere near as big as it is right now without your help, and I appreciate that, and I understand that. So thank you so much for everything. He also likes to live stream on Twitch, so go check him out there. I'll leave a link in the description. Sergeant Samurott asks, what's your opinion if TF2 gets a story mode? Okay, so this might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, and I understand that, but I'm actually really not for the idea of Team Fortress 2 getting a story mode, and I feel this way about Overwatch as well. I know a lot of people are just like, oh, it's a video game, and it has multiplayer, so that must mean it can have like a single-player campaign or something like that too, right? No, I don't think it works that way. I think that these games were built around the concept of playing with other people, and to kind of go against that would not work very well. Now, granted, it could be argued that something like Man vs. Machine is a bit of a campaign in kind of itself. It has a little bit of a backstory to it and stuff like that, and that's really cool. And if it was to be something like that, where it's kind of just like a mission-based system where you play with other people, that sounds fine, but I really don't see how you, as any one of the 9 classes, could go through and, you know, dispatch multiple AI enemies and make it feel anywhere near natural, or even like a fun, engaging gameplay experience with an overall, you know, character story arc. I just don't think that works. And I'm really not trying to be any sort of killjoy. I just really don't see how that would work at all. I just feel like that would be a really awkward and forced gameplay experience. I don't think it would be very much fun, just based off of what I'm imagining it would be. Granted, you know, if they were to come out with something like that and it turned out to be awesome, then, you know, I'll eat my words. But until that day comes for TF2 or Overwatch, well, let's be real, it's probably not going to happen for either game in any sort of realistic sense. DC Murphy asks, if you had the chance to nerf one weapon in Team Fortress 2 and buff another, what would they be? Now, normally on a question like this, I would do something like lie and tell you guys some weapons that probably actually need buffing and nerfing and, you know, that are really overpowered or underpowered, something like that. But I'm going to be way more vain about it, and I'm just going to tell you about which ones that I find personally annoying that I would really like to see some stat changes to. In terms of nerfing a weapon as a spy main, there are very few things more annoying than a pyro, and I can think most spy mains could probably attest to this, that any spy who is facing a pyro using the homewrecker basically should just not play spy anymore, because a single, even semi-competent pyro using a homewrecker makes the spy completely useless in basically any situation. The pyro already kind of counters the spy by just countering the fact that he exists and is able to kind of pick him out of a crowd in any sort of situation with his fire, but now the pyro can also get rid of a sapper, which is probably the only thing that the spy could do beforehand that the pyro really couldn't help out, you know, defending against. So the spy had at least one thing he could do effectively, even if there was a really competent pyro on the other team. Give that pyro a homewrecker on the other hand, and basically you reduce the spy down to somebody who's trying to land ambi headshots from a distance, because you can't get close to even try and sap anything. You're just wasting your time and you're gonna die, so what's the point in going anywhere at that point? On the other hand, I really do like the idea of a pyro, and the fact that the pyro can really work with the engineer to make a, you know, a stronger fortress. So I don't really propose a really strong nerf to the homewrecker, but what I do propose is that make it so that the homewrecker doesn't remove sappers in one hit. Maybe make it take 2 or 3, so that way it can be a little bit more balanced for the spy, give him a little bit of room to deal with and try and counterplay. Some people may say this isn't fair, but you know, the question wasn't about what was fair, it was about what I want, and that's what I want. In terms of a weapon I would buff, I've already named off my favorite knife, which is the Your Return of Reward, and I wanted to give it a little bit of love since it is a really good knife for, you know, public play and stuff like that. Competitively, it's basically unusable. However, what I would propose to do to it is to give it the old Saharan spy set bonus and the fact that it would make your decloaks a little bit quieter, which I feel like is a pretty fair trade for not having your disguise kit on you at all. Since you can't really rely on your disguise kit to get in close to the enemy team, I feel like it's only fair for you to have a slightly more quiet decloak to allow you to maybe make a slightly riskier decloak to actually go in for your first stab and try and see if you can get some sort of disguise. But, you know, I don't think I'm the only person that feels this way, but I have a feeling that I'm one of the few. Joey asks, have you ever watched Stanger Things? No, but I have seen Stranger Things, which is an excellent Netflix TV show, and I binged the entire first season in a single night with my fiancée, Lady Stanger, and it was excellent. I'm looking very much forward to the next season, which I will probably binge in one night again. Riser asks, what do you think about soldier mains? Soldier mains as people are relatively good people. I know a lot of them. They tend to be pretty good people. However, they do tend to be a little bit full of themselves when it comes to the actual class of soldier. I personally feel that soldier is probably the easiest class in TF2, and don't get me wrong, I know rocket jumping is extremely difficult, probably the hardest thing to do in Team Fortress 2, but the soldier has more to him than that, and the majority of it's just shooting rockets in a straight line, and I don't have any trouble playing soldier. I don't play him all that often. He's pretty easy to me, but, you know, I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that down in the comment section, so, you know, whatever, start a flame war down there if you will, but whatever it means, I personally don't think soldier is all that hard of a class. Just like to play at a basic level, like for basic understanding, is probably the most simple class in my opinion. So, you know, whatever. Tristan Solorzano, I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry, Tristan, if I murdered your last name. Did you request iToaster to make your current outro song? I didn't really request it. I sort of made a joke about the fact that Sir Stanger had the same number of syllables and everything like that as Slim Shady, as the song originally has for its lyrics. And so he took that, he actually made the song himself using clips from my videos, and it's pretty hilarious. He's an awesome guy. He's got a pretty sweet YouTube channel. Go check it out. Links in the description. There's going to be a lot of links in the description of this video, I can tell already. But yeah, no, go check him out. He makes a lot of sweet videos and just a relatively cool guy. So yeah. Boba Fett asks, are you an Eminem fan because of your outro song? I guess I would probably say so. I don't really know like all of his songs or anything like that, but the songs that I do know I enjoy quite a lot, and I do listen to him on a fairly-ish regular basis. So yeah, Eminem's pretty good. Definitely up there on the rappers that I like, but I like a lot more rappers than him, so, you know, he's not the only one. And that is the last question that I've decided to answer from the last comment section. But I think there were a couple more that I might have missed, so I apologize if I missed your question. However, if you do have a question for me that you'd like to see me answer, please leave it down in the comment section below. I will only be taking questions from this comment section for my next Q&A video, whenever it is I decide to make that. So definitely look out for that in the far-off future, or whenever I decide to go about making one of these again. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and with that, let's keep the internet classy. I'll see you then. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello, my name is Sir Stanger. Hello,
can I have the attention of the internet?
My name
for
is
1 second?
My name is Sir Stanger.